Hi, this is Danny Benites, and I want to challenge you for just a moment. We all know that customers are shopping 15 or 20 hours online or researching for hours on end online, obtaining information and kind of narrowing their choices down before they actually contact us at the dealership. And we say that we know that. We've had these statistics thrown at us over and over again, the amount of time that people search online. And I guess what I want to make sure is that our actions are lining up with these facts and this data. What is happening is that the customers are no longer coming to us for information. But yet, as salespeople and personnel at a car dealership, I don't think our actions are speaking to that. When they come in, I think we are continuing to inundate them with information that might be unnecessary. Case in point, a customer is searching around, and what is the typical phone call or lead that we get at our dealership? I was looking online, and I want to know what your best price on stock number D3572 is. What's your bottom dollar? Do you still have that vehicle? What shade of blue is that? When we hear that, we should understand the fact that they have narrowed their choice down. Now, 80% of the people are not going to buy that actual vehicle, but do we need to confront them with that right then? No. So what my point here is to understand that we are no longer the place where they come for information about their car. They're obtaining that themselves. Now, the average customer's decision-making process is the same as it's always been. There has been the trigger. The car breaks down. The car goes over 100,000 miles. It goes outside of warranty. Someone moves in next door that has the kind of car that they're looking for. There's that trigger. And the manufacturers work on that trigger because they're continually having the brand new models flash across the screen or show up and follow you around online. But they keep that message consistent so that when that trigger happens, boom, you may want to go look at the new Chevy Impala or the new Toyota Camry. But that trigger happens. Okay, and then something magical happens with the customer. They say, you know what? I'm ready for a new vehicle. I'm tired of my old vehicle. Let's start the process. Now, we all have been through sales training. We understand that the kind of the sales process is meet and greet, and then we qualify or do a needs analysis, and then we go through a vehicle selection, then we go through a demonstration, and once we go through a demonstration, then we go through some sort of a trial close or a question that if we can get everything figured out, is this the one we want to work numbers on? Is this, there's a million different ways to do that. But, those things are still happening. All those things have to happen. What's changed now is just the simple geography of the process. So the meet and greet now is done on your home page where they kind of, introduce themselves to you. The qualification, they're doing it themselves. They can build their own vehicle. They can figure their own payments. They can value their trade by themselves. So they're kind of taking themselves through the qualification process with 360-degree video walk-arounds and 50 and 100. And I've seen websites with 150 pictures with robotic cameras that circle around the car and go inside and out. And they can demonstrate that car to themselves, but the thing that we forget is the meet and the greet and the qualification and the demonstration are still taking place. They're just not taking place at the dealership as much. So this leads me to really the topic of this little video blog, I guess would be called the Asian of the car business. Asian is is the action or process of doing something. It's at the end of a lot of words. And we do think sometimes that people are coming to the dealership for information. And what they're looking for rhymes with information. They're looking for a few things. I think that they're coming in here looking for confirmation. They found a vehicle online. They want confirmation that the car is the way that they saw it online. They want justification. They want us to justify the purchase and to help them make that decision. Customers claim to have all these decisions made. In reality, they want you to help them with that decision. Maybe they need clarification. Maybe they need to clear something up. They need to make sure that it does fit in the garage, that it does run the way that they're anticipating. So our job really, when they get here, is not to go back into all this information overload. We got to keep it simple. Some people want more information, but the majority of them have the information they need. They're about ready to make that buying decision, and they're looking for a few of those Asians. They're looking for clarification. They're looking for justification. They're looking for confirmation. They would really enjoy some simplification. They want to avoid complication. They want to avoid frustration. You just remember that you have to find out where they are on the journey and then pick it up there. I heard somebody say one time, you have to figure out what's going on, what part of the process they're in, and then you have to jump in there with them. Find out where they're at in their head and then join them there. Quit trying to reinvent the wheel. Quit starting the process over. They've started the process. It's your job to jump in there. So remember, ATION, Asian. Just remember, when they come in, which one are they looking for? The chances are they're not looking for information. The chances are they're just looking for someone to justify the purchase, to confirm that that's the vehicle that they want. They need you to clarify some things. And so that when you're talking to them on the phone, or when you're, maybe it's the internet department that's talking to them on the phone and they're coming in, if you're a salesperson and you're awaiting an appointment, call up and find out what stage they're in. You can do that very easily just with some simple conversation. But the thing that you want to do to help with that simplification process, right now I'll tell you, most of the surveys will tell you that what people are looking for when they come in is a fast and easy situation. They want to come in very quickly. They want it to be easy and uncomplicated. So here's a tip for you. What I'd like for you to do is write this down, and it's I've heard this somewhere along the way, so I'm not plagiarizing anyone. And most of the things that I come up with aren't really original. They're bits and pieces of things I've heard in the past. So beware of anyone that tells you, here's a process that I invented. This business has been around a lot longer than you and I have. So, but write this down. Paint the picture of the process, PPP. When you're talking to a customer and they're about to come in and they've got all this information, paint the picture of what's going to happen when they get to your dealership. Mr. Customer, I'd like to tell you a little bit about what your experience is going to be like when you get here. Our goal is to make this very fast and easy for you, and I'm sure that's something that you're looking for as well. When you get here, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to have that vehicle pulled up and clean and ready for you to look at, the one that you're looking at online. As well as that, I'm going to have maybe an alternative or two for you to look at. They're also going to be clean. They're also going to be backed up right next to that vehicle. My goal by doing this is so that you can very quickly confirm that that is the vehicle that you'd like to buy, or maybe something similar. But we're going to get that out of the way quick, and we think that that's going to take 15 or 30 minutes. Now, I'll take as much time as you want, but I'm prepared for that to take 15 to 30 minutes. Then your Honda that you're bringing in, I'm going to spend about 15 minutes evaluating it with my manager. So now we are 45 minutes into the process. Depending on how much time it takes for you to make a decision, there's a good chance that we will be ready to consummate the deal within an hour. And once we do, we really try to make that process last only about 30 minutes. I really think all told, you're going to be here maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I can speed that process up if you'd like by getting some information from you now, and you can take advantage of our expedited paperwork process. It's a situation where I can take this information, we can get it plugged in, I can have you pre-approved by the time that you get here, so that when and if you do decide on one of the vehicles that we have, you're in and out quickly. How's that sound? Let me begin by getting some personal information from you. Okay, there's just an example, and that's off the top of my head, but realistically, what I tried to do is I tried to let them know what it's going to be like when they get here. I want you to understand the fear that people have isn't necessarily of the things that you're going to do. It's the fact that they have no idea what's going to happen. They don't know when they get there what you're going to look like. Why don't you send them a video or a picture? They don't know what the dealership looks like, maybe. They don't know what you're going to do. They don't know who you're going to turn them over to. They don't know how many people they're going to talk to. They don't. And when they don't know, I promise you, they're making a battle plan before they come to your dealership. They're doing hand signals like the manager of the Boston Red Sox. When I do this, it means we need to go to a piano recital. If I do this, that means that we're late for a dinner date. They're working out their little secret codes to get away from you. But if you paint the picture of the process ahead of time and you let them know what's going to happen, how long it's going to take, and when they're going to be in and out of here, they're going to love you. They're just going to love you. Simplification, it's another one of those Asians. So think about those things. These are just silly little tips. But as usual, when I'm talking to you, I like talking to you about concepts and about looking at these things kind of from a helicopter view and understanding the whole idea behind what we're doing. Not just word tracks, not just do this step, this step, this step. I want you to understand what the customer's feeling. This is an emotional situation, and you have to talk to them and be sincere, the same way that I'm talking to you. Put them at ease, but you better be prepared, because if you're at ease and you're taking it easy and you're trying to be conversational, but you don't know what you're doing and you don't have a plan, you're not going to sell anything. So we have to be motivated and do that. So do these things, and hopefully the end result for you once you close the deal is a celebration.